welcome everybody in the name of Ars Boni, just because Ars Boni, it is, I think, their first English language program. I would like to first say a few words about Ars Boni. Ars Boni is a Hungarian legal community. They are active in the Hungarian and also in the Central Eastern European market, and they provide training to young professionals and law students, and also they do legal headhunting and other legal career services. If you would like to learn more about Ars Boni, you can check it on their website, arsboni.co. And now let's start the conversation. I am lucky to be here with three super inspiring women from the field of legal entrepreneurship and legal tech. Each is super interesting topic in itself. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation, Ebru, Siyanna, and Maria. And first I would like to ask you to say a few words about you, about your company, and about your past. That have you been interested in legal technology and technology in itself as a law student? How did you end up in legal entrepreneurship and in legal tech?
Yeah, who's gonna start? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna start because I was the first one. So I'm Siyanna. So right now I'm working on an AI assistant for privacy and technology law. So we help with speeding up legal research and making it more accessible and quicker across borders as well. And we are in a very fast-moving field right now. So we started quite recently, actually, since last summer. Before that, I was a proper data protection and technology lawyer. So I'm quite recently into this space. And we're going actually right now through a startup accelerator together with this project. So we're very much in the middle of everything. And then I guess what led me into it very briefly. I had always, I think since law school, I took like a little bit of kind of computer science courses. I was always interested in that. Also, the area of law that I was working in was technology law, so had always quite of an interest. And then I was also working in legal automation within the firms that I was in. So I was always connected to the field, and then now kind of made the proper jump into legal tech. So that's a very quick intro of what I am and kind of the backstory.
Thank you. Maria, Ebru, who would like to continue?
Okay, I will go first and then leave the floor to Maria. So my name is Ebru. I'm currently based in Tallinn. I'm doing my PhD here at Tallinn University of Technology. But my legal entrepreneurship journey started with Legal Design Turkey, which is a legal design social enterprise based in Turkey. One question that really actually a little bit make me smile, because when I was a student, law student, Borbala, I wasn't very into the technology law or law and technology. That at the time, maritime law was the most popular area, and I always thought that I would become a maritime lawyer. But later, I think then how the people you met and then the paths you have chosen brought me here. In general, like general saying that we have in Turkey. And my legal entrepreneurship is also supported with legal technology in a way, because of my role in European Legal Technology Association. And I think that's about it for now.
Can you just say, because everybody talks about AI since ChatGPT, can you say a few words what is legal design? Because I'm not sure that all our listeners are familiar with this concept.
Sure. Legal design is actually, like in very simple words, is application of design methods in legal problem solving. So very basically, you combine design and law and also technology together when it's needed, not always, but sometimes. And then you try to find a solution that is very user-centered, usable, and satisfying for the users.
Yeah, and this is something that law really needs, actually, to be more user-centric. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Maria Gonzalez-Espejo. It's a difficult name. Well, in fact, Maria Jesus Gonzalez-Espejo. I'm from Spain, and at the moment I live in Spain, but I have lived in other countries. So I have a international background. I studied law here, and then I moved to Amsterdam, where I did European law. After that, I lived as well in the United States for 1 year, and then in Brussels for 4 years. And then I moved back to Spain. I've been a lawyer, an in-house lawyer, also a lawyer in big law firms like Clifford Chance and Pérez de Orca here in Spain. But I have jumped into the dark side of law, which is the support, the staff, already in the year 2003. There, by coincidence, I had the chance to be in charge of knowledge management, human resources, and marketing of a big law firm here in Spain. I saw it as an opportunity to learn. I'm super curious. I think that has one of the reasons that has moved, let's say, or justifies that my career. And I thought it was fine to try on to learn more about how to manage a law firm. And I discovered that I really like the intersection between law, strategy, communications, and technology. And why do I like technology? I like technology because I feel that technology helps me to be more efficient. And for me, I always have so many things to do that my time is a priority, and prioritizing my time and finding more time to do what I like is very relevant. So in the legal sector, I have always seen many inefficiencies. I have always seen a lot of egos and lack of strategy as well. And also lack of accessible communications. And those things have always brought me into technology as one of the solutions. So all which, let's say, let me know and handle better technology has interested me. And to do that, I've always tried to get more knowledge on technology, but also more methodologies or skills to handle technology. And within those skills, I believe that project management, legal design, thinking, team building, and of course, all which has to do with better communication is necessary. And at the moment, I occupy my time on an amazing venture, which is called Matura Club. My worry at the moment is helping baby boomers, my generation, to understand the challenges that are coming for all of us, which are huge, because we are, at least in Spain, and I think in most European countries, the most populated generation ever. And this means a lot of impact from the economic, social, legal, housing, etc. point of view. So I am melting all my, let's say, acquired knowledge and putting it together to help my mates, my generation mates. And that's where I am.
Yeah, super interesting. So you are doing a lot of different things, and yeah, that's really impressive. And yeah, I will, because all the three of you are active in several different things. I will ask you about how do you manage this? How can you have so much on the plate? How do you have a work-life balance, or what is your opinion about this?
Do we keep the role? I can start. So I'm a very interesting example about this, because both me and my husband are working on our own startups. So work-life balance is a very interesting word in this case, but I guess it really helps when you're doing this with someone that's also kind of very much into that type of space, and you can support each other. But we're also at this part of our lives that we're just giving right now more importance on our businesses. So it's been almost kind of the daily from morning till late at night, and we still have the energy to pour all of this. So yeah, we have to try to keep the balance, but I think right now we're just putting a lot of all of our energy just into starting up both of our businesses. So yeah. It's I'm not sure I'm doing the scaling very well, but I guess we still have the energy to do it. Yeah, I would love to hear how the rest of the panelists are handling this as well.
Maybe I'll just go and be very honest about it, because I don't have a work-life balance. Usually it's like work, and work, and work. But the thing is, I think what happens is that sometimes I like to use the phrase work-life harmony instead of balance, because daily or weekly I don't have a balance. But time to time, I just give a pause and then try to, like, it's a bit of a meditative word, but like ground myself on what I'm doing, where I'm going, planning for the next week. And then I get a rest and then start again. Because the thing is, like, what I like about Siyanna and what she told is that she still has the energy at the day end. And it's very important to know what fuels you. And if that's the work, then it's okay to work. But it's also important to know your limits, I think. And I'm 38 now, so I had my fair share of burnouts in a way. So I know where I'm going to have a burnout or something like that. But other than that, it's, for me, I don't have a very solid balance, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I'm 58, and I think that makes a big difference. For me, balance is a priority at the moment, and balance means doing as much as I can what I want to do. I have already worked 100 hours a day. I have already been high, maybe not at the very, very top, but very, very top. And I have now my own personal ambitions, which are, for instance, devoting time to molding, painting, being on the countryside, spending time with people I love. So, and doing that. In order to do that, I have to make strong exercises or put a lot of willingness on that, because when you have been working for many, many years too much, you have a tendency of bad habits, and changing habits is very difficult. So in my case, for instance, in order to practice my art weekly, I go to an academy which is far away from my house every Wednesday. So I take my car, I drive 17 kilometers, and I pay, because I know that if I pay, I go. So that's, for instance, a stupid trick, but it helps me to not miss my art classes unless there is something very important. Then I always try to keep like 1 day or 2 days for my daughters. I have 2 daughters. They are already grown up, but I need to talk to them sometimes and spend time with them. Sports is in my day. For me, it's nearly compulsory, so I try to go to the gym nearly every day. If I can do it, I go every day. I don't do always the same stuff. Sometimes I'm just a yoga lady, and sometimes I'm cardio, but I try to put that in my agenda. And in my case, I had a burnout. When I started working in the field of legal tech, I organized a hackathon. I didn't know what a hackathon was. It was the year 2014, and it was really stressful. And I got a lot of sponsorship at that time, and it meant a lot of responsibility. I noticed that the line between being healthy and unhealthy is very thin, and I don't want that to happen again. And in fact, my advice, if I can give any advice, to people is never think that you are a superwoman, because we are not super women. We are just people and human, and and the line is very thin. And now when you have my age, you see people around, and I see the health of people really damaged, and you pay the consequences of not taking care of yourself. So be aware of that.
Yeah, thank you. That's very interesting. It is sounding like that if you follow your passion, you have a really, really huge amount of energy, and in the beginning you can for a while put all in, like Ebru and Siyanna now does. And from Maria we can learn that, okay, but take care of yourself, because it can lead to burnout even if it is your real passion. So thanks, that's great. In the meantime, we started to get questions from the audience, which is really great and really good questions. And anyway, the last 50 minutes of this conversation will be dedicated to the questions. But one is leading us to a really interesting topic. It was addressed to Ebru, but I understand that Maria also has experience in legal design. So they are asking that what kind of training is needed for this kind of work besides the law degree. But I think we could broaden this question and ask from everybody, even for legal design, legal project management, AI, so all your respective fields, that what do you think is necessary? Because indeed, the universities are not really providing so much trainings in this kind of legal tech fields by the moment. They are all very young fields.
Siyanna, would you like to go first again, or shall I just jump in?
Jump in, because I think this question was more for legal design. So feel free.
So first of all, what I would like to say is that when you are learning a new area, it's very important to know the people who are already in that field practicing. And in my case, I was very lucky, because when I was discovering legal design and legal innovation in general, I met Maria. And then I learned from her a lot. And I need to give her credit of the things that I have been doing, so, that helped me came to this point in my life. She certainly has a share of contribution. So in that case, I would first say to look around of the people who has been doing this field, who has been working in this field for some time, and to see what they are doing, what kind of problems that they are solving, and then maybe like what are their events or publications or things like that. Secondly, I agree with Borbala, and I also don't agree with Borbala in the sense that the law schools are kind of a little bit behind of this in legal innovation sphere. But also in my current university, Taltech, we are also doing a lot of things about legal design. We hold roundtables, and as part of contracting and negotiating class, we are doing some exercises on legal design. We also plan to do some projects about legal design in the upcoming year. So it's both teaching and research sides. We are covering this area. And but I'm just thinking as a lawyer, or like if I were a student, if I would be in that position, I would say what I would do is to check on all the publicly available resources. There are many resources that legal designers especially share, and one of them is Margaret Hagan's lawbydesign.co website. You can find all the basis information there. That will help you to initiate whatever way that you might follow, like if you want to become a legal designer, or if you want to do it as part of your work, or maybe just like additional skills that you would like to learn it. There are also many legal design related courses that are available in the market in different part of the world. I would suggest to take a look at those. And regarding the first question, I will just put a link to the chat. I won't explain this project a lot, but it's the reason that also helped me to establish my company, the project that we did with UNDP Turkey. So we are not providing a legal service design to persons or like individuals, but we provide these services to United Nations agencies. So far, we did a project with UNDP, and currently we are doing another with UN Women. So my type of legal design is a little bit based on access to justice and increasing legal literacy. Sorry if I talk too much. But
no, thank you. Great. That's a great answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I can build up a little bit on that. Really, what Ebru said, use whatever is out there publicly available as well, because there is so much information. I used to when I was in law school as well, so I took a lot of online courses on the side, including in technology, computer science. There are a lot of things that you could do if you're interested, let's say, in law and technology and AI. A lot of things that you could do as a lawyer. Some of them are specialized. There is this like computer science course by Harvard that's really, really good, that it's also specifically for lawyers. That's really nice. On edX, there's so many things. So one thing is like really use the information that's out there, because it's a lot and you could do so many things on your own. And then the other thing is kind of speak to people a little bit outside of the legal field as well, because that for me has been really useful, getting exposed to people that are working on other exciting projects. Because if you remain surrounded, I think only with within law school, with law school students, you get into this kind of bubble. So trying actively to go out of it a little bit can give you a lot of new ideas and fresh perspectives, and can make you realize that, oh, you're curious about things that before that were not really there on the table. And then you can do it by a lot of things, like just going to different conferences, events, meetups. There's so many things out there that you can use for that. So that on top of the open resources would be the main two things that are really actionable and really easy to do.
Well, I think almost everything is said, but I have prepared the answer to this question. So if you want, I give you like 7 tips to enter into this field. And thank you, Ebru, for your words about me. You know that I love you very much and I admire you very much. So for me, it was really a pleasure to help you somehow. Well, first thing is curiosity. So you have to be curious. And second thing is you have to really want to get into a field which demands a lot of energy additionally to your current activities. So be aware of that. That will probably mean stress and handling of priorities. So my advice is choose 1 or 2 fields of interest, because this field is immense. You have all the different kind of technologies, blockchain, AI, I don't know, 100 things. So choose a couple of fields where you want to like be more specialized. Then I always like Google Alerts. I create alerts with the words that are key to my, let's say, knowledge acquisition. So imagine you like AI, artificial intelligence, create some alerts so that you get in your inbox all news that are published related to that field. Then, as Ebru and Siyanna said, there are plenty of resources right now. When I started, it was almost nothing, but now there are people creating podcasts, newsletters, courses, books. So just, choose the field and join podcasts, register into newsletters and start reading. As I said, don't get stressed because we all know nothing. I mean, nobody can say right now that is an expert on anything because everything goes too fast and we are all infoxicated. So try not to be infoxicated, but try to have criteria to choose the right sources of information. You should also have a lot of critical thinking and a lot of, let's say, capacity of analysis, because a lot which is said is not true. And a lot of things which are said are just the copy of one to each other. It's just people are just copying. So real creation and real originality is not so frequent. And finally, try to join networks and associations where you can meet other people who have the same interest, and you will always find lovely people there who wants to share with you. So those are my tips.
Thank you very much. Super useful. Yeah, in the meantime, we also get another question, which leads us more about the entrepreneur mindset topic from Legal Tech, and it is also related because each of you have been working in more traditional legal jobs, and now you are in entrepreneurship. And I would be interested in what you see the biggest difference between this, the more traditional and the entrepreneurship field, which are the main challenges. And someone from the audience was asking that, have you always had an entrepreneur mindset, or it is something which developed through the years of your legal studies and or the work life?
I guess I'm starting. So let's see. So the first part of the question was basically, I think, how is what we're doing right now different than the traditional legal career? To be honest, for me, because it's quite fresh, so I did the transition literally last year, and the difference for me is immense, right? I felt very I feel so out of my comfort zone right now with everything that I'm doing that I never have before in my life. And it's something that you have to keep in mind, especially because I'm also a founder. So you have to, the learning curve that you have is immense. So all of these things that that you have to do in terms of fundraising, in terms of selling, marketing, all of these skills that there is no way that you would have acquired them or would have taken an immense amount of time if you had your traditional legal path. All of these things right now are daily work. So in this respect, you have to be very, very mindful if you're going to, especially if you are going to become an entrepreneur, that you have to be comfortable with not knowing how to do things, not being an expert, because that's the biggest change in the mindset. You're coming from a position of an expertise to a position of, I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's okay. And then you're going to figure it out as you go. So it's a very difference kind of in the mindset, as well as when you're usually within a legal position. Also, the type of thinking is, what are the risks? What are the challenges? Like it's very kind of cautious way of approaching things. While if you're an entrepreneur, you have to think about more about opportunities, how things are going to happen. So that's also kind of a mindset switch that could be quite difficult. And I have experienced this a lot, that it could be quite difficult if you're coming from a consultant / legal type of background. So a lot of challenges into that transition in terms of mindset, but also incredibly rewarding, I think, because really the things that you learn to do and the amount of people that you speak and the amount of energy that you get, it's something completely unique. Especially if you want to be out there talking to people, developing new things, it's really much more different than staying behind your desk and doing contract reviews, let's say, or giving advice to clients. So really different aspects of the job. Of course, it's always useful to have the knowledge of having been in a traditional legal environment. But to be honest, almost everything that I do is completely different now. And then the second part, I guess, which is, have I always had this in me, or did it develop? I think for me, definitely developed. And what was really useful, and I want to share this with you because for me it was really important. As I mentioned, my husband also has his own startup, and he actually started his journey a bit earlier than mine. And what actually helped me a lot to make the jump myself was seeing him go through this and seeing and being exposed to other people that are in the startup ecosystem, usually men, and then seeing that the main thing for me, that what made an impression to me being in this type of environment is, okay, these people also have no idea how to do this, right? It's not that they're coming from this like huge amount of expertise or knowledge how to, but they just believe in themselves and they just throw themselves into it and have this mindset of, okay, we'll figure it out. So there is no substantial difference between you and the people that are doing amazing things. And you might as well believe a little bit in yourself and give it a go as well, because you might do amazing things too. So for me, it was this exposure to people that are working in this different environment that gave me the confidence to see, okay, this is also a path for me. And here I am right now. So that's why I'm saying that it's really, really useful to surround yourself with people that are doing different things, because they can open really your mindset into what are different opportunities to go forward with. And I think these are my 2 cents on this.
Thank you.
In my case, I didn't have an entrepreneurial mindset when I was in the law school. As I mentioned, I thought that I would become a maritime lawyer, but after so many years, now I'm not. And then the thing is, I'm also thinking whether there were any contributions to the entrepreneurial mindset when I was in the law school, but I think I didn't have it. I didn't even think about working like a solo lawyer. So I think it was a leap of faith in my case. When I started Legal Design Turkey, it was during COVID time, and it started as a community, co-learning community. And then later we attended to a competition organized by UNDP Turkey. We became one of the winners, and then they decided to give us a pilot project, to do a pilot project with us. And in order to do it, I had to establish a legal entity, and like overnight, I became an entrepreneur. So that is how it happened to me. And then now I have 2 hats, if I may say. Like, one hat is on the academic side and the other one is my entrepreneurial side. But in this case, I would say sometimes my academic side is leaning a little bit more, and sometimes, time to time, entrepreneurial side becomes more prevalent, I think. Like, I have to prioritize of my activities. But in my case, I didn't have an entrepreneurial mindset, or maybe I didn't know that I had it before.
Okay, so it's my turn. I think I was an entrepreneur since I was a girl at school, where I was already selling jewelry with a friend of mine. And then after at the university, I was also doing other businesses. So I've always been doing businesses. In my case, I think there are 2 reasons why I like that. One is creativity, and somebody who is always looking at how to do things in a different way that is better or brings in some kind of new benefits. And secondly, I like making money from things, or finding the way to make money. But I have to say that I also like changing society and things that do not work. That's why I'm now in a social project, and I'm super happy now. And I think that finally, this is what I really like social impact and a company. What I have seen in my life, looking at and knowing a lot of people who have got companies, is that those who are entrepreneurs, I'm not talking about like big companies, I'm talking about startups and small companies. The characteristic that I think probably we all have is that we are curious, we are encouraged, and so we are not very we are not afraid of new stuff, etc., and of not making enough money. It's like we feel that we don't need this security. I think security is probably the biggest limitation to being an entrepreneur, to jumping into your own, let's say, becoming owner of your own life. I think that a lot of people do have the capacity, a lot of people could make it, but a lot of people just want security. And I notice that very often when I look for partners for my companies, because most people want just a salary. They don't want to become entrepreneurs. It's quite frustrating because sometimes you have somebody in front who is completely unhappy in their jobs. They really do want to work with you, but you know, these 1,000 euros or 1,200 euros makes them not move. And they could make enough money or even more very fast, but they don't move. And that's something that it is for me difficult to understand, but that's what I think that keeps a lot of people in very boring positions and in lives that they don't like. So my suggestion is really understand who you are. Check whether you are more into the creativity, non-hierarchy, changing the world side, and capable of finding resources where others do not find them. And if you have that, try it, because especially when you're young, it's the right time to do it. When you are older, you have more obligations, and yeah, it's more difficult.
Yes, this I can totally agree. And yeah, also a related question to this part, because each of you have spent several years abroad or even started legal entrepreneurship abroad. So how did it contribute to your journey of becoming an entrepreneur? What did it give you something to this kind of mindset, or how do you feel like?
Yeah, I think it definitely adds some. I think everything that indeed pushes you out of your current boundaries and shows you a different perspective adds to that way of thinking. And being exposed to different cultures, talking with people that come from a different point of view, engaging with all of this certainly helps in just opening up your mind to new opportunities. Always like expanding, also in terms of expanding your network, meeting people that are doing really interesting and exciting things that can at one point, and you would never know who can become like a partner for something that you're working on, or can connect you with other people. So everything that can expose you, it's really, really helpful. And I've always been incredibly grateful to the people that I've met and to the friendships that I've made abroad as well. Because when in this particular case, when I started my company, some of my biggest supporters were actually people that I met abroad, in my previous employers, that made me feel, I didn't expect to feel as welcome in a different country, in a different context as I did as well. So if you're open-minded, if you make the effort to make friends and to get to know people, you get a lot of that back, and you never know where amazing things are gonna come. So I always am a huge advocate for, if you have the chance. I've done Erasmus when I was in law school. I've studied abroad, so I'm a huge proponent of this, because it can enrich your life in ways that you could never expect. So yeah, if there's any doubt about anyone better to do it or not, absolutely always do it.
I totally agree with Siyanna. In that case, like, I don't have a lot of contributions to make, but the only thing that I would like to say, if you would like to become an entrepreneur abroad, so I think it's very important to learn about what kind of an entrepreneurship support system that country has. I think like the incubators, accelerators, this kind of opportunities, they are very important. And it's also important to know beforehand, if you could maybe learn about the how you can use the knowledge that you gain abroad in your own country. Like in my case, it was always helpful. Like all my abroad experiences helped me to make better things in my local context. Mm-hmm.
Not much to add, just maybe saying that when you are abroad and you live in a country which is not yours, of course you have to find your way and be yourself. and you don't have a network, you don't have family, so you have to start from scratch. And that's very much what happened, for instance, when you start a new company. You don't have the right network normally in the sector, you don't know, unless you are old and you already built a company in the sector you have been working. But very often when you start young and you create a company, nobody knows you, nobody believes in you, and nobody trusts you. And I think it's very similar to the experience of living abroad. So I really recommend doing that. Also, in every country you go, you learn, you acquire good things, you see things that you don't like, so your critical thinking skills develop. You start loving your country. Sometimes we deny that our country is nice. We believe that, it's not as good as. And when we live abroad, suddenly we understand again who we are, which our roots are. And I think embracing yourself, your roots, your origin helps you very much to be happy with yourself, which is basic to a happy life and a happy profession.
Yeah, thank you. Just because it is related, we get a question. Is it better to start a business in someone's home country or abroad? What do you think?
I'm going to answer first. I think, it's very strange, but what happens very often is that you get more recognition when you're abroad than when you are in your own country. And it's not something that happens in Spain. I have spoken with many people from many countries, and they always tell me, I'm more successful when I give a conference in Colombia or in Mexico than when I do it in Spain. So somehow this happens. So, maybe it's easier to start in another country because you are different, your color of skin is different, your color of eyes is different, your language accent is different, and then people look at you. Of course, your brand is more attractive maybe abroad than in your own country, where you are easily compared to others. So there are advantages. Disadvantages, of course, is not your country. So from understanding the legal system, the society, etc., those are all challenges. But I would say that why not? And then one more stuff is which countries, because some countries are really pro-entrepreneurship and they really help you, and others are just, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm going to ask you 1,000 tasks and 1,000 stupid things that are really going to keep you more busy doing what the administration asks you than doing your business. And that's really not nice. So choose a country where they like pushing entrepreneurs and helping them and not pushing them backwards.
I completely agree, and I had to do a lot of thinking when we were incorporating our company earlier last year. And some of the main things that we took into account was, okay, first of all, where do we have a network? Because of course it's very difficult to just pick and point some like any other country. So we were thinking between somewhere where A, we have a network and support, B, what is the actual legal regime there? What is the tax regime? What is the administration bureaucracy going to be too heavy? So how all of this can work out, because it can be a hell or really easy depending. So it's a do some thinking on that for sure. And then indeed the third aspect is what opportunities are there in terms of incubators, in terms of grants. This is something that's really interesting to know, kind of, and also could be different in different areas within one country. So something to definitely look into, what is actually applicable. And yeah, I think these were kind of the main things that came into play in our decision. In the end, we found our company in Flanders, in like in Belgium, as opposed to Bulgaria at first. And a lot of these kind of decisions came into play in doing the final incorporation.
So in my case, I just want to first read Alexandra's comment. Nobody can be a prophet in their own country, she says. I think I may have a different opinion in this. I'm not suggesting that I would become a prophet in my own country, but the thing is, I think the market need is very important, like what the market offers, or what people need, and then how you can deliver that need. And in my case, there wasn't a legal design company or like a legal design training course, or like people like dealing with legal design very effectively. And I saw this as a need, and then I acted on it. And now whenever there is a topic coming up about legal design in Turkey, people usually refer it in a way with Legal Design Turkey, even though it's a social enterprise. And as I mentioned, that we don't serve individuals, like we don't create like training programs like as a service. We do it only for like socially, like in collaboration with like bar associations and things like that. So in that case, I would suggest that, and also the one thing that I could mention, like being a legal entrepreneur in Turkey, that helped me to gain a lot of recognition, that helped me to later have a position in the international arena. So I think it depends, this question, like it depends. You can also do it abroad, or you can do it in your home country, but the most important thing is that what problem that you solve, and if there is a demand, actual demand, that for what you offer. So I think that's my point of view here.
Thank you. I just would like to remind the audience that we have 11 more minutes. So if you have any questions, please just post it in this section. We get one for someone who wants to do legal advice and set up a business on consulting as well as do investing. What is your advice? Wow. Interested in a lot of things, it seems like. Anyone feels like answering this question?
I can try, but I just want to see the question one time again. So, okay, this is the first question, I think now that's unanswered. Okay, in this sense, what I would say is that to go by one, maybe, not to do all of the things at once, because like maybe from my experience, one thing that I really miss not doing is that I didn't do any internships when I was a law student. At that time, it wasn't that competitive and it wasn't required, but I think it was a big mistake. Like looking back at the past, I should have done more internships when I was a law student. So I don't know if Anna is a law student or like already a legal professional, but I would say to try different things by internships, and then to decide which area that is more attractive to that person. And also one other thing that I can say regarding the internships, I worked a couple of years, and then later on I did another internship at European Union Intellectual Property Office. I think I was one of the oldest interns, but it was very useful. I really liked the concept of working outside the legal field. I was doing a traineeship on corporate governance, and it really helped me to think outside the box. So I would suggest to do some kind of training or like internships, or maybe even like some work, and then decide on to the next step.
Thank you. Anybody feels like to add anything?
Maria,
Yeah, I think I can give Anna some tips, because I set up my own a consultancy, so I have already many years of experience now. I set it up in 2012. So I was in my 40s, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to start giving advice. So what helped me to get clients? Because if you want to give legal advice and have a successful, or at least a business that let you eat every month, you need to get clients. And who is going to hire you? Somebody who trusts you. So the question here is, how can you make people trust you? And I mean, you probably know who trusts you, or who do you trust in? So think about it. Who do you trust in? What kind of qualities do these kind of people have? Do they know about the matter? Are they technically good? Are they nice people? Do they speak in a clear way? Are they reliable? Are they always there when you need them? Are they available? Are they in peace? These are all qualities that people who are trusted have. So if you want to have a consultancy, first thing you have to have are the qualities that trusted people have in your field. So start thinking about what are the characteristics that business advisors or consultants have, and try to get them. Some of them are easily achievable. Others are a question of time. If you want to be an expert on a field, you need to study a lot. You need to be the best one. And it's not only being the best, and this is something that women, we normally forget. We believe that being the one who knows the most is enough, but that's not enough. We need the world to know that we know enough. And then that means writing articles, attending events, giving lectures, writing books, drinking wine sometimes, or playing golf. But it means more than being number one in your masters or whatever. So in sum, if you want to be a successful advisor, you do not only need to be technically the best or very good at least, but also to let the world know it, and also to be a very nice person, because most people rely on nice people. And a lot of lawyers forget that. It's not a question of being the best, but also a question of being very nice.
Thank you. We have only 5 minutes left, and we already got a couple of questions. I will ask, I think we have at least time for one, and then I withdraw some of my own questions. Just to confirm that in case our audience has some questions, can they reach out on LinkedIn to you, or everybody is okay with that? Thank you. So then the next question would be really interesting. When do you think that it is possible to start a business in this field by working full-time, or does it have to be all in? And we only have 5 minutes left. Sorry.
Yeah, I can try to answer. So to be honest, short answer, I think if you're serious about it, go low in. I started initially while I was still working at a law firm, very quickly found out that it's very difficult to juggle working full-time at a law firm with starting your own business, which means that either one or the other will suffer. So you have to figure out where your priorities lie. And then I think after 2 months or something, I decided to give in my resignation and go full in. And if you're serious about growing your business, especially if it's a startup, I can talk about it in this context specifically. Also, if you want to raise money, if you want to hire people, if you want to get people on board, you need to signal that you're full on and that you're devoting everything that you can on this. It's not something that you can do half time, specifically if you're building a startup, or at least that's my view on it.
I'm curious about Maria's answer.
Yeah, I feel the same. But it's true that maybe at the beginning you can try to, keep on working somewhere so that you have some security and you don't get too stressed. But if you do that, it's going to demand part of your nights, part of your lunchtime. So it's going to be a stressful time. But yeah, sometimes you just start that way. But when you see it clear that this is what you want to do, just be encouraged and do it, jump it. You can, if you're young, you can always find a job again, and no problem. Failing is good. Failing, accepting mistakes and accepting failure is part of life, and it's really great. I look at all my failures. I have committed a lot in my life, and I have learned a lot from them. So they are part of me, and they have helped me to be who I am. And thanks God, I'm still growing as a person, and I will commit more, no problem. I embrace them.
So in my case, I'm just thinking maybe in my case, my enterprise is a social enterprise, so it's a little bit different. And when I started it, I was working full time at a university as a contract manager. So I did it while I was also working. But after 6-7 months, I wanted to become fully focused on the enterprise, and then I resigned. So I think it can happen, like it can start when you are working, but when you really become serious, then you have to make a choice.
Yeah. So thank you very much. It seems like that everybody supports the all-in option. I am really sorry. I am in this bad position, terrible, that I have to say that our time is over. I would be super happy to continue this conversation, but our next panel will start just in kind of 1 minute. So please, if you enjoyed this super interesting conversation with Ebru, Siyanna, and Maria, please join us in the next one. And if you feel like that we couldn't answer all your questions, please reach out to our wonderful panelists. And Dora copied to the chat the link of the next webinar. Hope to see you there also. And thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.